All right. Good evening, everyone. Is my mic working? Hello. Okay, so says it's working. Hopefully y'all can hear me. The mic's acting weird. So let's see. We got a few people in here already. Oni-chan, good to see you. Jade, good to see you. Luna and Tellum, welcome. I think we got a few people still coming in here. If anyone is in here, let me know and make sure that my mic is working. It's acting weird. That's never good when it starts acting weird. Okay, good. It's working. That's the big one. That's what we need to know. Believe it or not, I actually do have an interesting little topic to get us started with once we get some people in here. Some announcements we want to make sure we go over, by the way. We are indeed doing a 6-month challenge at the beginning of the year. It's not a or new year, new me kind of crap. It's just a 6-month challenge on self-mastery and improvement, in which you're going to pick if you pick something and you work on it and you dedicate 6 months to developing that and bettering yourself, your self-mastery, your practice, and it can even be health-wise in some shape, form, or fashion. You can join us in that 6-month challenge by popping over to the Discord and letting the admin know you want to take part in it. And you want to get added to that. You want to get added to the list, and you want to let us know what you're working on. Because if you do that and you take an active role within the voice chat or just we have a text chat too. You're not required to voice chat with anybody. But if you actively take part in the 6-month challenge, at the end, we will be doing drawings for some prizes. We've already got a few people wanting to donate some Dragon Magic 101s and I think a meditation class. So there will be the potential to win some classes as well. I believe we're also going to do some of the Dragon's Eye Seals tapestries and some of the artwork. And if I recall correctly, one of the admin is actually donating some of the really gorgeous wooden etched Dragon Eye Seal plaques that Jade makes. So those are just some of the prizes that are potentially available for that. Now, something I've been getting emails and messages about a lot this week, the tarot class. It is coming along great. However, between everything that's been going on, just, with the holidays and trying to see family and, holiday parties and the like, to prevent myself from hitting burnout and to make sure the class is good, I am actually going to postpone its release. That way I can enjoy the holidays with my family. And I can still make sure the quality and the final checks and everything is in place where I want it and where it's nice and I'm happy with it. You all know I don't like to half-ass anything, so I'm going to postpone that instead of trying to rush it. I think that might be it. I know many of you commented and enjoyed the holiday meditation video we released last Tuesday. Glad it was enjoyed, and many of you have already found it helpful. So mugs up to that one. Let's see here. Redcap, welcome. Tori, good to see you. Let's see. So we got 9 people in here. If you haven't already, hit the like button. It does help the channel out. Helps the algorithm likes those likes. What can I say? Saeed, good evening. So, one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight and cover. A12. Yeah, currently it is one live stream a week now. Because, well, with the holidays, everything just got crazy. It really did. And Research and Ramblings was getting such a low turnout. We put it on hold for the time being. Let's see. Only Chan, the meditation will come in handy next week. My house would be packed. Yes, that is the best time for that meditation. It really helps with the holiday shopping too, as I mentioned in the video. But you are correct. When the in-laws and outlaws start piling in, it really does help. I'm sorry, A12. I'll be honest with you. I'll miss it too, but the amount, it's really weird because if you'd have told me that just putting that on hold would have gave me the time and the ability to rest that it did, I would have thought it crazy, but I went ahead and tried it. And it really has allowed me to get a lot more done, have a lot more focus, a lot more rest. It's actually been good for me. In fact, I've gotten so much rest, my weight's gone down just because I'm sleeping better. Who would have thunk that, right? But I kind of miss it myself. After the new year, when things calm down, we're hoping to make a few adjustments to the channel. And we are considering possibly doing more of the live vlog stuff or the pre-recorded vlogs that we used to do on like Thursdays. So there'll be more content coming as to if Research and Ramblings will be brought back on a regular. That's debated. Right now, we're still considering bringing it back, though, just so y'all know that. Let's see. Trey can sleep in the same sentence. If that's not a Christmas miracle, I don't know what is. There you go, Luna. There you go. Luna will catch me online, message me. I'll answer the question. It'll be like 4 a.m. And then I'm saying good morning to her by 5 or anywhere from 5 to 8 a.m. Angela, welcome. All right, so now the one thing I did really want to get a chance to talk about, Bornoldas, good to see you. I've gotten a lot of questions, and I always get these this time of year. It's kind of emails and stuff like that switch over and go from a bit more selfish to selfless, but it's always a little depressing because the questions and requests for help and magic that I get, they're the real heartstring tuggers because, people's family is sick or any number of things like that. But I even get a lot of messages from people who don't really understand magic in its full. Many people don't even believe in magic, and they're trying to, they'll do anything to help another person feel better. And that to me is wonderful, don't get me wrong. But it got me to thinking that not only the people who don't believe in magic don't understand it, but there's a lot of practitioners, I think, who we need to approach the understanding and definition of magic. Now, a lot of people understand the concept of magic is the conformity of the universe to one's will or to manifest one's will in some frame of mind like that. But this has also left a lot of people wondering why they can do a spell and get no results. I think this year alone, I got messages from over 100 people who did a spell for a job and told me they never got a phone call. And I kid you not, I'm only counting the ones that answered this question. How many applications did you put in? And their answer was zippo. I think I know why they didn't get the call. So I want to kind of go in and kind of reapproach what most people would consider magic. And I wanted to discuss that because I have heard a wonderful definition of magic. And I should have looked up where I heard it. But I didn't. But the definition I heard was magic is probability enhancement of a manifestation or achievement. Now, let's think of that. Let's think of that concept. Because if it's a probability enhancer, what magic is doing is moving energy and setting the stage to help you achieve a very, very specific goal. No, Born, I heard that definition before I knew you. um, and because of that, you actually do have to do something. It's not granting wishes. It's not going to manifest something from nothing. You have to do something. It's going to enhance the probability of something happening. And that is very, very important. Because if you have that understanding and that definition, but definitely the understanding, then you know the higher the probability that something won't happen means you're going to have to put a lot more work and effort into it to bring the probability into your favor of it happening. And really, if you go and watch how I discuss magic throughout this channel, you can see that that definition was a very large influence in how I approach magic. And it may have been in Isaac Bonowitz's book, Real Magic, maybe the first place I read that. But it's been a while since I read that book too, so a little sketchy on that. But understanding magic as increasing a probability, it does a fantastic job. First off, it actually grounds magic into our reality in a way that disbelief is less of a problem. Doubt and disbelief are far less of a problem, therefore making it far more likely that you're going to achieve your manifestations. Secondly, it also shows you places where things are more likely to manifest because you understand that probability. And you can easily start on the very simple probabilities and begin to work yourself up to the harder probabilities with skill and study. And it gives you a baseline to begin your work on. And I think that is drastically important because one thing I've noticed since teaching magic, most people who fail at magic come in and they are shooting for the stars and they're trying to do extremely advanced magic without having any foundations or basics. They want to go all the way to advanced without putting the time and effort into the basics. And well, you really can't do that. And then they get mad because it don't work. And these are the people who want instant gratification. They want to flip a light switch and have what they want. But that's not how magic works. So I did want to, bring that up a little bit here tonight because I think that is a very important piece and aspect to magic that probably needs to be made a bit more public or not. I mean, it is public, but it's not one we talk about a lot. I don't really hear any practitioners talking about it. And I'm actually wanting to do a full video on that at some point. So let's see. Adhd, welcome. Let's see, what is this? We got some comments here. Let's see. Translate. Challenge. Oh, there's a lot of different words that roughly translate to magic. It's all over the place. And I would actually agree with that, a gift to challenge our fate, because, well, it's not fate itself, but I do know for a fact the more capable you are of anything, the more the multiverse will throw at you. So technically, magic doesn't make your life easier. If anything, it makes it more complicated because you have more tools and more ability to handle more. So the multiverse can throw more at you. But if you truly have an understanding of the foundational principles and the basics, while it's throwing more things at you, you have the tools to easily and calmly work your way through those. And when you think about it, that makes a lot of sense because the things we face in our life, the challenges, the hurdles, the pitfalls, all those are what help us grow. Those are what gain us wisdom and understanding and insights that essentially would help you to better yourself spiritually and reach the point of ascent and other things like that, depending on your tradition's beliefs. But you always have to grow as a person, and no matter what you would call that purpose of growth, those are the things that grow you. So it would make sense that having the skills to handle more, it's going to throw more at you because you're going to be able to grow faster, which is the entire concept there, which is a magnificent thing. Let's see. Angela, Magick requires patience. I used to not have patience and let items charge even, but I learned over time, just relax and be patient. Nothing comes overnight. You are correct, Angela. Magick does indeed take patience. One of the things I try to teach my students is when you sit down to do a spell, I want you to give that spell your all. I want you to throw everything you got emotionally and mentally into that spell. I want you to be emotionally and mentally exhausted when you get that spell done because you are doing that spell. You have a reason to do that spell. But as we discussed in one of the videos, you got to let go. Once you do the spell, you got to let go. You got to forget about it. Let it go. Because if you don't forget about it, if you're always dwelling on it, you're not releasing the energy so it can manifest. So if you throw everything at it and you let go, it goes out there, it manifests. And then you have to be patient. And that is actually, aside from doubt, because doubt will ground out your magic faster than anything, let's be honest. Patience and the ability to just let go is probably the hardest thing. It really is, especially for a data junkie like me. That's one of the values of my journal is when I do the spell, I write down what I've done the spell or the working or the ritual for. I record it specifically. I put all my notes down so I don't have to remember it. I don't have to think about it. And then when whatever time frame I'm working with comes up, then and only then do I look at my journal and compare and contrast where I'm at with what I did and did that manifest. That is the only time. Or if it actually manifests and I see it manifest and it's like, hey, that thing happened, I need to go make that notation in my journal. That is another reason I love my journal. It allows me to not think about it. Because if I don't write something down, it sticks in my brain and I worry about it constantly. It drives my wife crazy. Because if I don't write something down and I'm afraid I'll forget it, I will I will lose sleep over it, no matter how stupid it is. There are things that are really, really stupid I have lost sleep over. Like there is a little statue thingy right over here. It was in the wrong spot. I remembered it was in the wrong spot. I couldn't go to sleep until I got up and moved it because I thought I'd forget to put it back where it needed to go. Yeah, I'm that bad. So the ability to write it down and just forget is an amazing thing. It really is. And yes, that is correct. We got 21 people in here and 11 thumbs up. If you are here, please give us a thumbs up. Let YouTube know you like what the work we're doing here. See what we got. We got a few comments popping up here. Yes, I'm learning to let go. DD, that is a hard one. It really is. It takes some time. Even me right now, there's a few workings I'll do where I have trouble still. But try the journal. Try writing down the details in that journal. I find that really helps me to let go because it's written down. I don't worry about it. I don't stress over it. Let's see. Saeed, if you draw a sigil of a demon on paper and drop a few drops of blood on it, would the energy of that particular demon charge the piece of paper? Technically, no, Saeed. There's a little bit more that's needed to activate and charge a sigil. First off, let's understand that a sigil is a representation. There is no one true sigil of any entity. Okay? You can actually find, there's popular ones. There are popular ones, but there's no one true sigil. And there's actually sigils that are utilized by different traditions for multiple entities to further complicate and confuse this. So the symbol in and of itself actually doesn't really have any power. It's lines on paper until the power is applied to it. Secondly, you actually have to purposely and deliberately be applying energy and charging a sigil. And it's easier to charge a sigil with just energy than blood, actually. A lot of people want to give blood some weird, esoteric special pedestal place. And a lot of it's more the just edgy people. They really just get really edgy, and they really don't understand the concepts of blood magic. They just want to, use a little blood and get all edgy and, oh, look at me. But if you're not practicing the basic principles of how to charge a sigil to begin with, you can bleed all over it all day long. It won't do nothing. It really won't. If it connects it to anything, it'll connect it to you, not the entity. That's the irony here. So yeah, no, that would not do it. You're honestly better off to just start working with sigils and charging them with energy, similar to how you would charge a sigil you make yourself. Go check out our basic sigil videos. And we are going to be discussing this in depth in an evocation course that we're getting ready to do. As far as activating entity sigils, have I done a focused video on that concept yet, people? I'm going to have to check the library and see, because I think that's one we need to do. Let's see. Oni-chan, most of the time I do a spell and distract myself and forget about the spell after writing it down. ADHD comes in handy when getting distracted. See, I've been diagnosed with ADHD, but I still have that hyper focus side of it. But yeah, writing it down and being able to forget is handy. Let's see, Angela, I'm trying new things. Using tarot cards in place of my tools. I like to take them traveling as pocket altars and entities, but I decided I'd try to take them as pocket tools. Angela, that's actually a pretty good idea. I actually just finished filming a few spells. We're doing in the tarot class, we're actually covering tarot magic, and we're giving a few very, very focused examples to get people started. So yeah, tarot cards for tools and traveling altars, that's actually a good idea. My traveling altar, you've all seen it. We got it at the merch store. It's that like beach towel altar cloth. That's my go-to traveling altar. But that's because I can easily fold it up, lay it out, and it's easily washed, that kind of thing. Let's see, AT, good to see you, brother. Thanks for all the advice. Mugs up. Hey, AT, good to see you. Mugs up to you too, mate. Happy holidays to you. Well, happy holidays to everybody, whatever you celebrate. And for that individual years ago who wished me a happy, Merry Festivus, hey, happy Festivus to you too. My wife had to tell me what Festivus was. Wait, no, what my wife told me. Who told me? It was one of my friends had to correct me on what Festivus was. Let's see, Luna, if only my brain would let it go without singing let it go, let it go, let it go. Hey, if singing a song helps you to let something go, if it's that easy, I'd be singing let it go all the time. I really would if it was that freaking easy. If you have a hack for the ability to let things go so easily, and it's just as simple as singing that song. You sing that song and you sing it loud, you sing it proud, and you let it go. I think that's great, Luna. Yeah, I know I have one on normal sigils. I don't know about entity sigils, and so many people disconnect the two so well that might do me well to do it. Might do as well. Might do as well indeed. Patricia, what's the best way to start working with the uricias? Now, that's a tricky question. That is, because you need to do your homework 100%. And I would not recommend the internet in most cases until you've checked almost 100 sources. Because honestly, the best way to start working with the Loa or the Orishas is to find someone who is truly initiated and initiate and learn from them. Because these entities do not work like the standard entities most people are used to, and those are the entities I see people get the most trouble with. And everyone wants to treat them like a bunch of love and light, harmless entities, and they ain't. They're not bad, but they're not love and light and harmless. They can be quite harmful. Um, and those are one of the ones that you really should find um, someone to initiate you into the practice and tradition. Really should. Or you should do a lot of homework and proceed with extreme caution. Um, what are Orishan spirit? Orisha spirits are a um I can't think of the exact name that the Orishas fall under right now, but it's one of the groupings that usually falls under the overarching voodoo umbrella. So Orishas function very similar to the Loa from voodoo. Um, and many of these particular spirits and individuals also tend to, there's a lot of people who believe like certain Orishas are also Loa. Many people even consider Orisha and Loa the same category of spirit, and I do understand why. Um, but whether or not they're literally the same category or just they are two categories of spirits that are very, very similar, it is one of those things where they are similar enough and function enough that you really do need to find a initiator. Um, and I know they've kind of become the trendy thing for pagans to just seek out and work with, which is sad. Because you've seen a lot of witches and pagans actually alter these entities and change these entities to suit their viewpoint. And that's when they get in trouble. So, yeah. Anthony, good to see you. Yeah, Candleball is one of the past. Thank you, Luna. I knew somebody in here would remember it. Thank you. AT, what would be some good places for beginners to find out about all these sort of different practices aside from my channel? Of course, some of us are information junkies. Uh, you're preaching to the choir on the information junkie thing here, AT. And I'm always looking for a good single source or someplace where I can point people to that's like this is a great place. Um, Unfortunately, I have yet to find that single source. And unfortunately, the best I've found was like Christopher Pencak's Temple of Witchcraft books. He covers a lot of things pretty broadly, but though it's just like a sampling of an ideal of different paths, it's not really enough that I would call it research. And it only covers very certain things that are traditionally associated more with witchcraft. So it doesn't. There's a lot of things left out. And I am still on my quest to attempt to find that, and I can't. So honestly, AT, the one-stop research, I don't think they got it, mate. I think we really do. We have to dive in and do the hard legwork. And walk the road of the researchers of old and continue to do the legwork, continue to do the compare and contrast, and not just read an article, trust it, and move on. That's one thing that I think gets a lot of people in trouble. When we read an article, we should look at its sources. We should track down its sources. We should track down its historical references. We should find its actual source, not just well, this particular blogger or vlogger said this and move on. One thing I have noticed is there's popular bloggers who they'll state something about an entity or deity, and then it just gets regurgitated over and over to the point where most people don't actually know the source. And you can't find a better example of this than Norse mythology, where I have met hundreds of pagans who they think that in Norse mythology fits Marvel. They think Loki and Thor are brothers. They actually do. They look at it from Marvel's side, and they've never actually sat down and done a true deep dive into the Norse mythology. And then when they do, they're like, "Well, that ain't right." It's like, hate to break it to you, Marvel didn't write Norse mythology, so the Norse stuff actually has priority over what Marvel writes. Changing an entity to fit your views sounds like a quick way to make them. It's a very quick way. And one of the things about Loa and Orisha is they're more human in emotional concepts than other entities. A lot of entities are very detached from the physical realm in an emotional state. So we can, screw around and they're like, they might get mad at us, but they don't really. These entities are on the same power level, power scale. And their anger, their tempers are very, very, very primal, and they can be just as petty as us. And that's why people get in trouble with them quick, because they're not detached. And you piss them off, they will take their revenge. But that's not to say they're bad entities if you know how to work with them, if you do your research, and you show them the respect that they deserve. Let's see here. Let's see. Redcap. Dark goddesses such as Hecate and Lilith are attended to by a snake whose primal attributes have been forgotten over religious portrayals of evil. Is this why they are viewed as dark? No, they were viewed as dark goddesses even before that. The problem people have is understanding. They want to think light is good, dark is bad. Wrong. Dark is dark, light is light. You can torture, kill, and maim and harm with light. There is nothing that is purely ultimately good about light, and there is nothing purely ultimately evil about dark. They are two parts of the same whole that require each other to maintain a balance, and they absolutely both are capable of good or bad things, all in how they're used. These two deities are goddesses of the dark because they do actually fall within that attribute of dark and the many wonderful things in there. In fact, some of the most powerful healing you will ever find resides in that dark area. It has nothing to do with evil. Oni-chan, the 6-month challenge will start on January 1st. So yeah, we'll be kicking that off on January 1st. So thank you for your advice on path working. I'm nearly a week into focusing on Egyptian path, and I've learned so much with it as my sole focus. No problem. Path working is very, very helpful. For two reasons, really, if you ask me. First off, it's the best way to actually dive in and learn something and truly begin to gain some gnosis and understanding in a topic. But it also helps us focus. There's so many people who make excuses why they don't or can't focus, and then they just go whoop and jump off a cliff. We can learn to focus. Even I know friends who have ADHD, and there is a drastic difference in sit down focus for an hour, which most people with ADHD have a real hard time doing. And when we say focus on a path working, and so many of those people with ADHD, they get so much from path working. And I've been told by many of them that it also helps them in their day-to-day life because it actually strengthens their focus muscle from how they've explained it to me. that they can focus better on other things in their life because they're using the path working to, it's even though it's such a broad thing that they're focusing on, it helps the brain understand it from how they're describing it, and it brings them in. If that's the case, I think that's really, really cool. I think that perhaps someone might want to look into to research that sometime. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. Kelly, the 6-month challenge. Yeah, we talked about it here at the beginning, but we'll go ahead and do it here in the center. What we are doing next year. So we're doing a 6-month challenge. Now, this is going to be the biggest challenge Working Dragon Mystic has done. And we're not going with that whole new year, new me bullcrap. Toss that out. We don't need that. That's a bunch of just crap that people drop usually a couple weeks after New Year. No, what we are going to do, we're going to focus this challenge on self-improvement and self-mastery of our practice. This challenge is actually kind of taken from the concept of path working. You jump over into the Discord. Let an admin know what it is you're going to focus on for that 6 months, what you're going to work on, develop, and improve. And we'll put you into the 6-month challenge section. We'll give you the tag. We're going to have a voice chat set up. We're going to have a text chat set up. And we're going to actually sit there and we're going to share what we're doing to work on our particular challenge. And we're going to share our progress. We're going to share our struggles. We're going to share our ideals, including me. And it's going to be an active thing with a group, all of us encouraging each other on whatever challenge it is you've undertook. And for everyone who is active and takes part actively during this 6-month challenge, at the end of that 6-month challenge, we draw on prizes, people. We will be drawing prizes for different things. Most inspirational person, most motivational. We'll be doing things like who do we think achieved certain goals, or we may just have a bunch of prizes, and everyone who participated, we may just put all your name in my hat and draw out and see who wins what. But you do have to actively take part. So if you sign up for the challenge and you only say hi like 2 days during the 6 months, your name probably won't be in there. You know what I mean? You got to actively be taking part in this. I'm actually going to do it. As many of you know, going to the internet plus the couth weight and all that good stuff that I put on, I've been wanting to get back in shape, and I've been doing things here and there. Well, I'm actually planning to use Magick and some other things in order to, my goal is to hit my old fight weight by the end of next year. So that is lofty as hell. It really is. But I will be doing it. I'll be doing this right alongside you all. I'll be sharing what I'm doing. The spell work I'm using, I'll be sharing that stuff with you. I'll be sharing the non-spell work side of what I'm doing with you all as well. Now, here's the thing. Myself and other admin will be taking part in the 6-month challenge, but we are not eligible for any of the drawings, any of the prizes, okay? So when it comes to the prizes, don't worry. Me and the admin can't win, okay? So the admin will be taking part in this, but they're not going to be available for prizes. Only the non-admin will be eligible for prizes. Let's see here. So hopefully that answers your question there, Callie, because we're really excited about it. We do have quite a few people already taking part. So many people are getting ramped up for it. I mean, it's been amazing to see everybody that's just really jumping on the concept that we've got here, that improving our self-mastery. So many people's dedicating themselves to their crafts, their arcane senses, or their divinations. I got one person that actually told me they're upset the tarot class is delayed because they're wanting to use that to improve their tarot skills during this. And that was sweet. I'm glad they already have faith that I'll produce a good class. But I told them, don't worry, it'll be out. And they don't need to wait on me to start improving themselves. So, yeah, we're definitely looking forward to it. Let's see what we got here. A12 Drake, salute to Magick and you for the answers over time. Oh, A12, thank you, mate. Thank you. I do my best. Now, Now, one thing I will say to any practitioner out there, and this was one of the hardest lessons as a practitioner I learned, and it's actually a vital, vital thing. Be willing to be wrong and be willing to change, alter, and adjust your ideals and viewpoints. There are a lot of things that I learned when I started Magick that I was just told this is how it is, this is what you do, and it's like, okay, it's there. But then I found out later on, I was finding things that challenged this. And I had to, it was very hard to get myself to allow something to challenge what I thought were facts. But I found as I allowed myself to grow and adapt and allow those things to shift and adjust, my practice grew. And I've had people be like, well, Drake, one time, 15 years ago, you said this. Yeah, I did. And I'm correcting myself now. So congratulations, I grew. And that's one thing I love about, the live streams in this channel. It allows me to be able to easily be like, hey, guess what I learned today? So yeah, you got to be willing, that over time growth is so very important. And definitely be willing to adjust those things. Red Cap, if you were man, you don't know how many times this question comes up amongst my friends or on the Discord. And I think the standing conclusion is coffee, rare meat or smoked meats of some kind. And a lot of people will throw a hat or something like my hat into the ritual. So yeah, something like that. And rum and whiskey is also in there quite often. Can't lie about that. So a couple of my friends put cigars, which I see it. I'll have a cigar occasionally, like 3 or less a year. So I think coffee is going to get you far more mileage than that. Not decaf. Don't put decaf. You will never summon me with decaf. Don't do that. Let's see, Dee. So awesome. I'm doing another bodybuilding show. Cool. I didn't know you did a bodybuilding show. Dee, that's pretty cool. That is awesome. I am planning to work a lot more calisthenics and calisthenic strength training back into my life. Um, there's a lot of reasons that my training lapsed. I won't go into those. We ain't got time. Then it can be depressing. I don't want to be depressed right now. But yes, it's definitely. See, Luna already got it. Death wish hat, shirt saying "I'm with stupid." Okay, yeah, okay. Pointing to no, it wouldn't be pointing at you. I love you all. I'm allergic to stupid people. And eventually a flamethrower. Luna, you're crazy, girl. We love you though. So, I mean, I've always been a calisthenics fan. Most of my ability to stay in shape was usually from physical labor. I usually had a lot of physical things that kept me in shape. So when I started teaching the occult, that slowed down, but I stayed good. But then when I had to go to the online edition, I spend so much time at a desk now. It's just like, what the hey? I've never had to adapt to desk work. So this is a whole new mental game for me. But at the same time, and I'm really happy to say this, my wife, she's actually said that she wants to work out with me. So over the last week, her and I have tried some routines together, and she is having a lot of fun working out with me. So I do find I work out better if I have a partner or someone to work out with. Um, so I'm very, very thankful that she is willing to do that and work out with me. And it's also great that her and I can spend that time and have fun together. A lot of people wouldn't do that. A lot of people wouldn't do that. So, gotta love my wife. She's a sweetie. See, Redcap, when you work with a god and grow through them, how does it work? Can you explain what happens as you evolve by taking on their energy, guidance, and study their myth/culture? Ela, hey, welcome. Okay, you're not taking on their energy. Okay, it's not like you're actually absorbing them. That is a misnomer. What you are doing, however, is you are learning, you are growing. Your energy is adapting to what you are learning and what you stand for. You need to know what you stand for, because if you don't, you're never going to get nowhere. And that's actually something I should do a video on. Your energy will follow your thought and your ideals. And if you're all over the place and you don't know what you stand for, you're never going to have ground one. That's like trying to drink a glass of water and there's no glass. And you want to know what that's like, just get you a pitcher of water and pour it on your table and wait until it gets about this high off the table. It ain't going to get there, because without a glass to contain it and shape it and hold it, it just goes everywhere and you accomplish nothing except making a mess. So no, you're not absorbing them. It's about what you're learning. It's your personal growth. It's your individual growth. It's entirely on you, Redcap. You could sit there and meditate within a deity's energy your whole life. If you're not willing to do the work and learn and grow, you'll never get nowhere. And a deity can sit there and talk to you and hand you information, but if you're not willing to apply it and truly take the time to understand it, again, you get nowhere. Since we were talking about weightlifting, if someone was to walk over here and say, Drake, we're going to help you out. You want to get in shape? We got a deal for you. And they gave me an entire, let's say a gym. They gave me a whole gym. It's like, free of charge. It's yours. Great. If I don't use it, it does nothing. I got it. It's there. It does nothing. You have to use it. You have to apply it. And that's where growth comes from. And I think that's another thing. We expect these entities to do for us when we won't do for ourselves. And that's the reason a lot of people, I know people who spent 20, 30, even 50 years expecting entities to do for them, and they've really not grown much. Now, granted, when it comes to just knowledge and lore, they're like a freaking sponge. I mean, frick, they're better than Alexa when it comes to answering questions. But them as themselves and what they're able to manifest in their lives and their growth, it's flatlined. They got the knowledge, but they never use it. So that is a thing there. You have to actually apply it and use it. They will guide us, they will help us, they will teach us, but it is always, always on us to grow and to utilize it. No matter what you do, if you're not willing to utilize it, you're not going to grow. Magic is a lot of work. There is no easy road. It can be fun. It can be a lot of fun. But fun does not mean easy. Let's just be clear on that. Let's see here. Let's see. Patricia, what's the best way to connect in with your higher self and incorporate it each day? You know what, Patricia? There's a lot of people who bounce back and forth on this, and they will give you many, many different answers. And honestly, I think it really comes down to trying different techniques and finding out what works best for you. But to give you a more direct answer, we're going to go with what I have found on a broad spectrum, okay? What most people find easiest on a broad spectrum, okay? This ain't going to be everybody. This is just broad spectrum. Let's be clear on that. But I have found that meditation and trance work or working within your astral sanctum is some of the easiest ways to do this. And this is one case where I actually recommend meditation and trance work over the astral sanctum. Let me tell you why. You can meditate on the higher self, connecting to the higher self, listening to the higher self in meditation and trance work. Since it's less visual and more just receptive, those are far easier, because a lot of people, when they jump into their sanctum, since the sanctum is more visual, they have a hard time seeing themselves, because your higher self is you, regardless of how it manifests. It's you, and that oddity really just fries their butter. It does. They don't know what to do about that. Now, if you do want to use your sanctum, I usually recommend seeing your highest self as a spirit animal or totem, or even gazing into a mirror in your sanctum so that you understand the higher self is in the mirror, but you're looking at a mirror, and your brain has an easier time with the mirror than just a second you. Even if the second you looks different, if it resembles enough of you, it's still hard. Even if it's an idealized version of you, our brain has that, it just wants to fight it. Not literally duke it out, but it has problem processing it. So putting it in a mirror or in an animal spirit usually gives your brain okay, I can handle this now. But that's if you wanted to use your sanctum. That's why I say generally the meditation and the trance work is one of the easier ways that works for most people. And since meditation and trance work are foundational for all magical practices across the board, it's something anyone and everyone can utilize and leverage. In fact, you'll notice we did do a meditation video. I know many of you is like, Drake, do more meditation videos. Haha, beat you to it. We did the holiday meditation. And we are wanting to do more meditation videos and get more concepts like that. And that one was kind of a quick one. I have gotten some feedback where people's like, hey, could you just explain the meditation, and could you actually, walk through us and do kind of guided meditations with us? We did do some videos like that in the meditation class. I do know that for those who took the class. And I think we might be able to. They get a little long, so I'd have to do like short example meditations, not full meditations. But I think we could do something like that. Yeah. And higher self meditation would be a good one to add. Patricia, that'd be a good one. Let's see. Redcap, I've noticed that when working with them, yes and no. Here's the thing. If you invoke an entity or a spirit or something like that, depending on how deep the invocation is and how long you invoke them or how often you invoke them, it does kind of leave a fingerprint. And it does make an alteration to your energy body. But that alteration doesn't help you in your growth. That alteration is just an alteration. If you're not willing to make use of the alteration, it's still pointless. Redcap, that's kind of the thing. Yes, there's an alteration. Yes, it's permanent. There's people who even refer to the alteration as a scar. But if you're not willing to make use of it, it still does you no good. You still have to utilize it. As to, does the entity exist in you? No. The entity doesn't exist in you after you work with them. Unless you're going with entities don't exist, they're just psychological aspects of our own subconscious. In that case, yeah, they do. But if you want to go with the concept and theory that entities are completely separate from us, no, they do not. They alter your energy. They alter you, but you still have to utilize it. Again, right back to the weight equipment. It altered my life. Someone gave me a freaking gym in that, grant you, silly example, but it works. But if I don't use it, it's pointless. There have been plenty of things that people give people permanently in their lives. They don't use it, and it just collects dust. It becomes pointless. It is still on us. It is still our responsibility to be held account for every action we do and every choice we make and how we utilize those changes. It really is kind of that simple. Um, and I'll be honest with you, the example that was given to me when it comes to these alterations are made, um, someone talked about if someone bought me a meat dehydrator, great, awesome gift. I love jerky. That's amazing. But how many people will have this alteration? Somebody gives them something and then it just sits in their house and collects dust because they're not going to use it. They don't want to put the time and effort to do it, even if it saves them money. Um, and that's ultimately what's happening here. Just because there's an alteration isn't a free pass to anything. If you're not willing to use it, you're not willing to put in the work, you're not willing to understand it, it's useless and in some cases harmful. Perfect example of this is there's many entities that have tempers, and the alteration that they can make is they can make you have a temper. They can give you a short fuse, and you can go off half cocked. And if you don't understand the rest of the lessons and wisdom that comes along with it, and you're not willing to do the work to actually understand that, incorporate that, that particular energetic shift is going to do you more harm than good. So yeah, we do have to apply these. It's not a flip switch and hallelujah, you're done. It doesn't work that way. I wish it did. I wish it did. Because yeah, I can think of a lot of entities I'd invoke their energy for making my life simpler if it worked that way, but it doesn't. You still have to apply it. The change, the alteration is there, but you still have to apply it. I hope that makes sense. Because that's one thing I have, I learned the hard way in my practice. And because of that, I am very adamant and I'll die on this hill when it comes to the accountability of a practitioner and the work we have to put in. I have saw so many scam artists try to sell magic as a get rich quick scheme and a no work required um, light switch solution for all life's problems. And I've seen so many people heartbroken, distraught, or worse because of those shystas. So when it comes to the work and the accountability that really comes with magic, I am very, very passionate about making sure people who watch my channel understand that. Because I truly want you all to be the best you, to live the best life you can, and get the most out of your practice, however you choose to practice. So I have to be absolutely, truly honest about that, and I will die on that hill. There's a lot of people who don't like me when I talk about that because, well, they didn't want to hear. But I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. If you want to, I'm here to tell you what I have found has helped me, my students, and the other individuals I've worked with over the years, um, so that you can apply it to your practice and help manifest a life that you want to find your happiness, your joy. Um, and the short stick is, and the truth is, it's going to take work. It really is. That's the entire reason I did the 3 pact videos. I didn't do pact videos to, hey, here, do this and get a wish granted. I did it to dispel the myth of the wish granting. If you watch all 3 of those videos, you see I tear apart the Hollywood mythological fantasy of the way pacts work. Let's see. This explains what is happening to me. My matron is quite calm, but quite bouncy, jumpy, sometimes all over the place. But lately, they get less and less bouncy and all over with each working. Yep, yep. Those practitioners sound like jerks. That's so sad. People do that. Yeah, it is sad. It is sad, and I know there's a lot of things I could do that would gain me more followers if I just wanted to be a big YouTuber, that big redneck on the internet talking about magic. There's a lot of things I could do, but I'd also have to tell you things I don't believe, things that I have seen fail time and time again. And I can't do that. I can't do that. I have morals, I have values, um, and I can't do that. I would rather tell you the truth, tell you the things that I have found that works most reliably across a broad spectrum to help you achieve the best you can achieve than just be the most popular redneck on the internet. I really would. I'd rather have people who understand truth as opposed to just popularity. I ain't here to be popular. As we used to joke when I was younger, and actually many of my friends do joke, the gods sent me here to piss the world off. I was never concerned with being liked. I'm me. I'm Drake. I can be harsh. I can be brass. I can be funny. Um, like me or hate me, I'm me, but I'll be authentic. And Jade's throwing clocks at me, which tells me it's time to go. And me just polishing yeah, you and Jade and Luna always polishing the clocks to toss at me. Let's see. Got one little thing left here from Red Cap Jade. Allow me to read this, please. That makes a lot of sense. Lilith gave me empowerment, but the longer she stuck around, it turned into quite obsessive power play. I pulled away and grounded. My friend didn't, and she was a mess. Yep, you got to be careful with how you handle those things. You really do. See, Angela, I prefer smaller channels for the reasons like this one, more down to earth, more direct, more authentic. Angela, I make you this promise, dear. I don't care how big this channel gets. I can't do anything but be authentic. If this channel ever gets to be one of those big 1 million subs channels, I'll still be the same goofy old redneck I am right now. Okay? Because even if I had the money to upgrade the production value and the tech, I'd have to learn to use it. And I'm not sure I can do that. So it'll always just be me there, I promise you. That's the only thing I've ever been good at is being me. So that's what I'll do. All right. All right, everyone. I have got a admin meeting to get to and got some stuff around the house I got to do tonight. Going to be a long night, but that's okay. I wish you all a happy holidays. Have a wonderful week. I believe the the simple Yule roast video that people asked for, the more traditional one, is actually coming out this week. So for those kitchen witches out there, we got you a video coming, and we really went the extra mile with this one. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Have a great week, and I will see y'all next Sunday. And I'll be bringing some coffee, so we'll have a good chat. All right? Take care. Good night. Bye-bye.